Sonic Forces is kind of the definition of an okay Sonic game. A lot of people hate it for various reasons that I can understand, but do I think it deserves all the hate that it gets? Yes, I do. Okay, not all the hate, but, like, come on, guys. It, it's not that bad. Anyway, today I'm going to be ranking all the bosses. So, yeah, here we go. So, the very first boss that you face off against is Zavok, coming from Sonic Lost World. And he's okay. So, he uses a giant buzz bomber and spawns a bunch of smaller buzz bombers. You fight him in the prison hall near the beginning of the game. So the setting is I like the setting. It's really cool. Like the Death Egg is always really cool. Well, almost always. So you're fighting him on this little hexagonal platform, which great job, Sonic designers. You made Honeycomb Battlefield. And when he slams down on the ground, you have to hit him. The music is pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of the music, but I don't hate it either. Now, the fight itself, it's kind of repetitive. It's not very fun. And then the third phase just doesn't really change anything. Just makes the platform a little smaller. I guess not third phase, but the only way that it gets harder is different B patterns, and the stage is a little smaller. Yeah, this is not my favorite boss. I don't really have anything against him. It's just my least favorite on the list. Next up is the second Infinite fight, which I'm personally not a huge fan of. This is actually one of the only bosses that I dislike. And it's nothing about the fight. The fight itself is really cool. Like, this, with all the Infinite fights, the stage will change if you get hit. So, you want to avoid damage. And this one actually has really cool attacks. And it would be a really fun fight if the controls weren't hot garbage. Yeah, so for some reason, in this stage, your OC moves extremely fast. So it's really hard to dodge the larger attacks, like that square one that he does. And also, Infinite just moves, like, Infinite moves really fast too. Like, he doesn't give you a lot of time to react and figure out what he's about to do because you're too busy paying attention to the weird red glitchy cubes. This fight it's also the only level that you have. It's also the only boss where you only use your avatar character, which is pretty cool because I love the burst wisp. But other than that, it's not really that fun. Mostly just because of the janky controls. So the scene is set. You just made it through a bunch of annoying forest levels. And then you're on this giant snake and you see Infinite floating down. And then this is the fight. Okay. Let's be honest, I actually do really enjoy this fight. It's a boost fight, so you gotta watch out for that. Because it's a boss level, you can't use Supersonic, so no infinite boost, which is really sad. There will be an exception to the no supersonic in boss levels rule. There's kind of an exception later, but you'll see who that is when we get there. So this fight, he attacks with very basic attacks, like coils and loops of red glitchy stuff. The loop itself for the stage layout, it's actually a decent length. Like, I like how long it takes for one loop to finish. It gives you enough time to deal some damage on Infinite. A lot if you're really good. But it also makes it so that it doesn't get too repetitive. I also really like how sometimes Infinite will just start flying with a bunch of clones. Yeah, this is a pretty fun Infinite fight. Yes, I am ranking all three Infinite fights together. So, you'd expect this fight to be the Metal Sonic clone. You'd expect it to be above Metal Sonic. I'll explain myself later. For now, we're talking about this fight. So, this one has probably my favorite Infinite theme. Not my favorite theme. Don't misinterpret that. It's my favorite Infinite theme. The controls are actually decent because you're playing as Modern Sonic and you're meant to be going fast, unlike the Avatar character in the second Infinite fight. You fight this fight is around the end of the game, so you're already pretty good at the game when you make it here, but this fight is very difficult. Like, I didn't even finish recording the footage for it because of how difficult it is. You do get to use your avatar, you get to use your avatar character at the second phase of the fight, so that's fun. You end it with a double boost. I'd just like to let you know that because you won't get to see that yet. It's got a pretty cool, I like the aesthetic. The aesthetic is nice. And that's all I have to say about this fight. It's fun. I don't like it enough to put it in top 3. Okay, the reason that Metal Sonic was allowed in 3rd place is because he is Metal Sonic. Because this is my boss ranking, I am putting Metal Sonic high up because he's my favorite character, and there is nothing you can do about it, except cry in the comments. So, other reasoning why I put him up this high, because I can't just put him up here just because. I adore this fight. The music. It's not my favorite Metal Sonic theme. My favorite is the Japanese version in Sonic CD, which they remixed in Generations really well. By the way, when Sonic X Shadow Generations comes out, I will be making a boss ranking. Eventually. So, let's talk about the fight itself here. After I talk about the aesthetic. Beautiful sunset. I love this sunset bridge chase scene. It's awesome. Now, the fight itself. This is the only boss where you get to turn into Supersonic, because it's not an actual boss stage. It's just the level Red Gate Bridge. So, the fight itself is pretty simple. Just chase down Metal Sonic, avoid his lasers and enemies, and then spam the jump button to homing attack him a bunch of times. Nothing special, but it's still cool. And that ending with the double boost, I love that part. It's probably one of my favorite cinematic Sonic moments ever so far, because I haven't played Frontiers yet. Let me set the stage again. You just beat a regular classic Sonic stage, so you expect a regular classic Sonic battle, which is what you get for the first phase of this fight. So, yeah, they decided to make the Egg Wrecker for the millionth time. I'm not sure why they did this, but they did it anyway. But then, you attack Eggman, you finish him off, and then he brings the Egg Dragoon. But you're playing as classic Sonic, so how can this be the regular Egg Dragoon fight that you're used to? It's not the regular fight that you're used to. This fight plays out original. I'd use the word original to describe this fight. Oh yeah, and I guess fun too. Yeah, this is a fun fight, and the music is an absolute banger. Probably one of my favorite tracks. Funny how the footage had Tails saying you're lying when I said that the music was good. Tails is wrong there, by the way. Yeah. This is an interesting way to use the Egg Dragoon. I will say that. But it's a fun way to use the Egg Dragoon. And it translates pretty well into a 2D Sonic stage with him in the background. The end of the game. So you face off against this giant foe, and it's the Death Egg robot. But this does not look at all like the actual Death Egg robot that we're used to. Like, dude, this looks like a weird mix between the Death Egg robot and the Egg Dragoon. Like, I don't know why they decided to call this thing the Death Egg robot. I mean, it's not even from the Death Egg. It uses Egg Dragoon attacks, which you fight in Green Hill. All confusion aside, this fight plays out in 3 phases. What you're watching right now is the first phase, where you play as Classic Sonic and basically play the Egg Dragoon fight again, but this time it's dangerous. So once you smack the metal balls back at him a few times, he goes into the second phase, where he falls down onto this very Zavok-looking platform, and you fight an original boss this time. This part of the fight is completely original. Well, I guess you could say that it's kind of like Zavok because you attack it when a big thing pounds down. But there are 2 places that you can attack this one. You can attack the hands and the body. Attacking the body will do more damage, but it's riskier because you might fall. Or if you're using the fire, then it's harder because this thing is difficult to aim with the rookie's speed. So you attack all his robots and missiles until you empty the health bar a second time. And then he goes into the final phase. So, you see the chest start to break open, and this big weird thing breaks out. Well, small weird thing compared to the rest of the Death Egg robot here. But this thing breaks out, brings you into the void, and does that. And then it's the Sonic Colors final boss. It's still fun. This is a really fun fight. So, the main reason that I rank it so high, well, is because it's the most fun fight overall. This part is my favorite because of the music. This music goes hard. Like, I listen to this music almost every day, and I haven't gotten tired of it yet. Wonder how long that'll last. So, you're chasing it down, and each time you catch up to it, it's another boost fight. Each time you catch up to it, you first homing attack the main head until it's kinda stunned. Then you attack the main head, the right head with Classic Sonic, and your rookie attacks the left head. I like how they're kind of factoring in all three of the playable characters, except if you count Shadow as the fourth playable character, if you buy the DLC. But I have one major question. Why can Classic Sonic do a homing attack? Now, I get why they did this functionally, but within the lore, why can he do this? So more about the fight itself. Once you start to get later, once you start to defeat him more, once you bring the health bar down more, the ring drops from the weird crystal things start to become more rare. You start to get more boost wisps and less rings. I really like this. It brings a good amount of challenge. And yeah, the ending ends with a new move, the triple boost. And then it has the regular results screen.
Nothing the three of us can't achieve together. Victory is ours for the taking. Triple boost.
That quote lives in my head rent-free. Anyway, thank you for watching. That was my boss ranking of Sonic Forces. Like and subscribe, and have a good one. Bye-bye.